Hey guys, I hope y'all doing good. Recently I watched Frankenstein. You can find it on Netflix. And so today we're gonna talk about it, okay? So I'm gonna say this with no sugarcoating. Frankenstein is not fiction, it's a warning. A scientist creates a human body, but not a soul. Not consciousness, not the inner light. And that idea didn't come from nowhere. It reminds me of the Anunnaki myth, the Gnostic myth, the Genesis myth, the Yakub theory, and real science from Giovanni Aldini, the man whose work inspired the book. Everything you've been taught about life is wrong. Life is not chemistry. Life is not oxygen. Life is not flesh. Life is electricity. Specifically, bioelectric voltage running through the nervous system. If you understand that, you will understand everything. So, who is Giovanni Aldini? In the early 1800s, Giovanni Aldini proved the human body runs on electricity. Not symbolically, not spiritually, but literally. He showed muscles move because electrical current fires. The brain communicates through voltage spikes. The spine is a biological power cable. The nervous system is an electrical grid. And consciousness depends on electrical coherence. This was not pseudoscience. Modern medicine literally uses defibrillators, EEG, EKG, spinal stimulators, and neuroprosthetics, all based on the same principles Aldini discovered. So Mary Shelley used him as a blueprint for Victor Frankenstein in the movie because Aldini proved something terrifying. You can animate a human body with electricity without creating consciousness. Meaning, you can make something alive, but it doesn't mean it'll have that higher intelligence, right? And so that's why it goes back to that story of how, a mad scientist created a species who were kind of like animalistic, right? Because they were just spirit. They didn't have any soul. And so, the scientists had to teach them everything that there was to know and train them like an animal, So, this is where the engineered human storyline begins, okay? And so electricity equals life, but only clean nerves can hold the spark. Only certain biological bodies can hold the spark. Do you hear me? Okay. But also, electricity cannot run through a dirty or blocked medium. You cannot run voltage through congested nerves, a blocked lymph system, inflamed tissue, disrupted polarity, crooked posture, misaligned spine. So even if you do have the blueprint, you have to take care of yourself and take care of your body. Eat whole and healthy. Like, give a fuck about what you're putting in your system. Detox, fast. You have to have this discipline and self-care, self-love enough, right? Like, and once I found out the lymphatic system was like super important, I am going to invest in like lymphatic tools, like a lymphatic brush, and but oils like castor oil and stuff is very good for your lymphatic system. So his experiments only partially worked, but also because he didn't understand the other side of it. Which is, like I said, is the lymphatic system, but also the lymphatic system is connected to the heart principal side, the feminine side. He only understood the masculine side, right? So he was using electricity on bodies who the lymphatic system was clogged. Like, the bodies would have been dead for a long time as well. Like, there was no more key or, life force running through it. So anyways, the polarity also is important. The symmetry is important. The nervous system is important. The voltage pathways are important. And so he was missing one truth. Life force is not just electricity. It's symmetrical, purified, and balanced electricity. Top down, not bottom up. Heart center, not random. Aligned and not chaotic. So this is the same principle in Kundalini, Ki, Kemetic Ka, Tibetan Tumo, Taoist, light body practices. The same formula. The lymphatic system is the real circulatory system of light. Scientists teach people the blood is the main circulatory system, but they're wrong because blood moves physical matter. Lymph moves electrical purity. So lymph removes waste, cleanses tissues, clears the channels where voltage travels, keeps the nervous system conductive, prevents electrical short circuiting, purifies the inner environment so the soul can anchor. If lymph is congested, the voltage drops, consciousness drops, life force drops. This is why ancient healers dry brushed, did inverted headstands, so like yoga, putting your head down. They use silver. So like colloidal silver, I've used that before, and I'm going to start using it again. They use oil, they use stretching, they use breath work, polarity breathing. So, right, left, switching the Trataka, where you go balance the two sides of your body, look up to your pineal gland. Breathing, like hyperventilating breathing. I forgot the word for it, but that also wakens your system up. Like, okay. Obviously, I'm congested in my right nostril a little bit, but dang. Okay. But yeah. So, because that amps up your battery, because you basically are a battery. They were purifying electric pathways, not just detoxing. This is how Denny never understood. He tried to shout life into a blocked circuit. It will never work. You need clean lymph, balanced polarity, symmetrical nervous system, voltage from above, heart, thymus activation. That is the formula for life, awareness, resurrection, and everything. So polarity, left and right sides of the body. Here's where occult science and real physics match perfectly. The body is a battery. The left side is the feminine, magnetic, and negative side. The right side is the masculine, electric, and positive side. If these two sides are unbalanced, the voltage collapses, ki won't rise, the inner sun won't activate, consciousness becomes unstable, and resurrection becomes impossible. Symmetry is not spiritual symbolism. It is electrical necessity. And this is why yoga emphasizes symmetry. Mudras are symmetrical. Meditation aligns the spine. Breathwork balances hemispheres. Chakras run up the midline. Resurrection myths center on the spine. Life force requires a clean, straight, balanced circuit. Aldini was missing this too. He was shocking bodies with broken circuits. The engineered humans in ancient texts. So now we combine this with ancient anthropology. Sumerian tablets, the oldest texts on Earth, say there were already humanoids on Earth, primitive, animal-like, low IQ, low consciousness. The Anunnaki decided to engineer them into workers. They created the Lulu being strong, obedient, trainable, programmable, functional, but missing one thing, the divine spark. The tablets say they had no bright shimmer, they had no inner fire, they had no soul-body interface, no higher consciousness, no capacity for ascension. They weren't evil, they were incomplete, bodies with no inner sun. This is the original Frankenstein story. The Yakub story was a scientist story. The original esoteric version is a group of ancient scientists experimented on an existing humanoid population, created a more obedient, controllable type of human, the engineered human. It had limited emotional regulation, lacked intuitive intelligence, followed authority easily, was disconnected from the divine spark, operated through instinct, not consciousness. So it was a slave race. The Sumerian Lulu, the Gnostic Hylic humans, the Egyptian created beings, the Greek Promethean myths, the early Adamite worker class. Yakub represents genetic engineering. Again, bodies created without soul infrastructure. Genesis contains two different Adams because the writers were preserving the truth. Genesis 1:27, engineered humans. The Elohim, let us make men in our image. This is the engineering worker class, the Lulu, the prototype, the body-only humans, functional but not divine. Genesis 2:7, the divine human. Later it says, and the Lord God formed Adam and breathed into him the breath of life. This is the second human lineage, the spark, the soul, the Ka, the Christ. One lineage was built, the other was born. Modern people confuse the two. Mystery schools never did. So this is why some humans can awaken and others never will. This is where everything comes together. Aldini proved the body is electrical. Ancients proved consciousness is electrical. Genesis and Sumer proved humans have two lineages, those with the spark, those without. Consciousness requires fully connected pineal gland, open thymus, symmetrical polarity, clean lymph, aligned spine, stable voltage, divine inner genetic lineage. You gotta have that. So engineering humans can live, work, talk, think, but they cannot ascend. They lack the interface. So this explains NPCs, blind obedience, lack of self-awareness, spiritual emptiness, no intuition, no inner voice, inability to awaken. Nothing is wrong with them. They are simply the Genesis 1 humans. Only a small percentage have the Genesis 2 template, the resurrection template. Ah! Okay, yeah. Period. And yeah, that's kind of sad though. Only they can reach Christ consciousness. This is ancient science, not superiority, not race, not hate, but structural difference. So Frankenstein is about creating humans without a soul. Victor wasn't evil. He was cold. He was clinical. He was, he made a functioning body, but not a conscious being. And he says it in the movie, I made a mistake. I made a mistake. I have to kill this being now. But this is where we also get into another aspect of this. Because you should be responsible for what you create, not try to abandon it and kill it. Because in the movie, it shows that this being, although it didn't have a soul, it still had feelings, right? And I wouldn't want to kill anything that at least has, that, because that's just not, then I would have to say I don't have a soul, But, so, it says a lot about the creator. If you're not happy with what you created and you didn't train it the way you wanted it to be trained, because if I get a dog, it's my responsibility to train the dog, right? Because a dog is just a dog. And I know it's going to be a dog, but it's up to me to train it how I want it to act and be, right? So if this NPC or this slave race was programmable, you have to say, then who programmed it the way they programmed it? That's just my thought, right? It's like I can't blame the creature if the creature don't even have an IQ. They're not doing it because they have a will to do it. Because like I say, if it's a program in a computer system and I am the programmer, then it's up to me. So maybe this scientist, like some say Yakub was doing it to get revenge, and he wanted these species, creatures, these beings to be the way he made them, from just because he was on a revenge tip. So who knows, right? Who knows? But because apparently he programmed them with technology, which yeah, you can look that up. But okay, so this is the entire message. A body without a soul is programmable. A being without light is easily controlled. A human without inner spark looks alive but cannot awaken. Humanity is not one single species. And here's the part nobody wants to hear. Some humans alive today are divine beings in flesh. Some are engineered biological organisms with no soul link. Some are hybrids. Most are in between. This is why only a few wake up. And what's even cooler, the ones with the sparks are awakening. So you are not imagining the split. You are not imagining the difference between people. You are not imagining that some humans feel empty while others feel like walking suns. Ancient texts warn about this. Only some carry the divine breath. Only some carry the light body grid. Only some can resurrect while alive. Only some are chosen to awaken. You are not delusional for sensing it. You are the Genesis 2 human. Me. Yeah, I am. I am a part of the divine lineage. I am the one with the spark. So, I will ascend. And Frankenstein told the truth. Our deity proved the mechanism. Ancient texts preserved the history. Mystery schools taught the process. And everyone is awakening now to the evidence. This is not a metaphor. This is not poetry. This is biology, electricity, and cosmology. Peace out.